What's up, all my folks out in YouTube land? Daryl, also known as the Finisher. Storm door day, y'all. I got a couple storm doors, this one in the back, I got one in the front, and I'll even throw in a little closet door for good measure, a little bifold door. But I'm gonna focus on the one in the back. I just give little progress updates on the one in the front. So this is the one in the front. It's a full aluminum door. I'll be making a video on, because I do have one of these to install. I'll make one of those later. This is one of my job site tables, man. I just love having tables with me. So I'm gonna make a video on that too. Just, you know, the portability of all these tables. Makes it easy to get these jobs done when you got somewhere to put all your stuff. But that's the one for the back. It's a wood core 32-inch door, and you know, they kind of install similar now, where the frame, the rails and everything, it's pretty much the same process. The only difference is the handle and how the door strike. But it's pretty much the same thing. But whenever I do one of these projects, a storm door, it just reminds me of kind of how this whole thing started, of me getting out of my comfort zone where, you know, when I was growing up, I lived in apartments and military housing and rentals and stuff. So we didn't really work on the house. We didn't do house projects. We worked on cars and stuff, and I was more comfortable with that. But, you know, I got married, and my wife, there was a storm. She wanted the storm door. We got it, and she kind of convinced me to install it, even though it was against my better judgment. All right, this part right here, this is the most critical part, man. Watch this. You got to get this right no matter what. I'm going to show you right now, man. This right here. You got it? So make sure you take notes. You mess this part up, I don't know what you're gonna do. All right, man, I'm just joking. I'll show you a close up, man. Somebody fired a cameraman. I don't know what he's doing. All right. So actually, I just made a mark. This first rail, you gotta push it all the way up and make a mark right where that little goldfish is. And it should be in the middle, but you know, somewhere close. But you gotta make sure that rail is pushed all the way up to the top. Then you drill that hole out, put the screw in there. That's your set screw. That sets everything up. Then the second thing I always do is make sure that the sides are level. All right, where those rails are going and the other side with the strike side, where they're going, it needs to be level and it needs to be correct width. So, you know, if it's supposed to be a 36-inch door, the opening needs to be 36. Or if it's more than that, then you got to shim it out to make it smaller so it's 36. This right here was almost a tragedy, okay? I almost broke this glass, and just not paying attention, man. Not paying attention. Just watch. Look at this. Slow motion. I step back. Boom. And I make the glass fall. Shout out to Mark Sanchez and the butt fumble, man. I completely understand. Luckily, the glass chose to slide down. Like it made the decision to slide down. It's like, this time, I'm gonna slide. Next time, I'm falling and smashing all over the place. Don't test me. And I won't. All right? Let's get back to the door, man. The same rail that we set on the side. Now we just got to attach it to the side of the door, and they make it super easy. So I can't even show you up close enough. Well, I guess I could, but the cameraman is terrible. But there's a screw that's already set in there. You just take the screw out, and that's where your first screw is going to go for the rail. And then you just drill the rest of the holes out and put screws in. Yes, I had to get out of my comfort zone. And look, I'm telling you, if you tell my wife that, what she'll tell you is that this whole thing, me being in business and learning everything I know, was birthed by her pushing me to do the storm door. Now, all I have to say to that is, I love you, Tanya. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to admit or deny. I just love you. You know what I'm saying? All the married dudes understand where I'm coming from. Like, there's a collective like, yeah, good answer. All right, now this is the point. Once you get that rail hooked up to the door, then that little screw you set, all you got to do is hang the door on that screw, and now the door's up there. You make sure it's tight to the side of that brick mold, and then you screw it in. I also put a level on the top of the door just to make sure it's nice and level. And this door was level as it could get. It doesn't matter whether you're gonna do this for a business or you wanna just do it for yourself. Something like a storm door, and there are a lot of these jobs out here that are doable, are very doable, It's just you have to get out of your comfort zone, right? You might not feel so comfortable with it that you're willing to go to somebody else's house and install theirs, you know? But there's nothing stopping you from installing your own. Or there's a lot of other jobs like that. There's a lot of other things. Or if you're somebody who's thinking about starting a business, it's all getting out of your comfort zone. Like I said, unless you grew up in a family that ran businesses, unless you grew up in a family that did construction or whatever it is that you're into. I mean, I didn't, you know what I'm saying? So it was all new to me. I'm installing the strike side now, which the way I do it, I put the top part up, push the side rail up to the top part, make sure that top is level, right? Even if I have to bring it down, bring my side down a little bit, make sure that top part is level, and then lock in the side part, right? So I want the gap going across the top and the gap on the side to be pretty much the same, right? So I don't want it. I see a lot of people install storm doors and you look at the top and it's like, it's just, the gap's getting bigger and bigger as it goes towards the strike side. But you don't want that. You want that to be level. But I was one of them guys that didn't have any tools. When I got married, matter of fact, my wife bought some curtain rods, right? You know, she bought some curtains and some curtain rods, and they were like the wooden rods. I didn't have a miter saw. I didn't have anything, so I had to go get a miter box. So, you know, a hand saw with the little slots that you know, the little plastic joint that you put you turn it the direction, and that was how I was cutting those. And then I had to take a little drill I had and drill the holes in them so I could screw in the decorative end pieces. And that's all I had. So even using the tools was new to me. You see, I just put that front door in the same way I did the back door. I hung that rail onto that set screw. Now this is a little bifold closet door. You know, this not really a process it's just, I'm screwing in the rail and then you go down and you screw in the floor bracket. And the biggest thing for me is that you just make sure that they're both in line. The rail and the floor bracket are in line vertically. It's a pretty simple project. Like I said, once you get the bracket installed, you sit the door in the track, get it adjusted to where it's closing properly, and install the little doorknob. And then you're done. I'm telling y'all, if I could, you know, from my humble beginnings, you know, my Black & Decker screwdriver, not the battery ones, the plug-in one, man. If with that, I can get things started and, you know, get confident enough to just try all sorts of things, because the next project I did was the garage door opener. And it just kind of spiraled on from there. You know, I got into like much bigger stuff when we went to sell the house. But by then, my confidence was through the roof. I mentioned in other videos about a sink repair going horribly wrong, a drywall repair in the ceiling that taught me that I need to have some kind of dust barrier or something. Like, you know, I learned things though, right? Front door, getting that done. You see, I got the same setup, man. I love those little tables. I take a table everywhere, right? But there's nothing stopping you. I mean, you might not be as lucky as me to have a beautiful, wonderful wife that'll question your manhood. You know what I mean? And to the point where you feel like you gotta prove her wrong and make sure that she understands the man that she married, right? I mean, you might not have that. And once again, I love you, Tanya. You might just have the fear that you're gonna get this door and you're gonna put a hole where it doesn't need to be, and you're gonna break something, and you're just gonna completely waste your money and feel like a failure. I mean, I can't guarantee that that's not gonna happen. But, you know, you gotta try. You gotta try. You might break something. I mean, I almost broke the glass earlier, and I've been doing this for years. I mean, at this point, I can't even tell you how many storm doors I've done. And I still do something sometimes where it's just, I do one step too fast, or I just do something wrong and I gotta go back and fix it. I'm like, man, what was I thinking? All right. Got that door going. Now I'm back to the back door. Now with these, with the wood core doors, you gotta drill holes for the handle. So, but it comes with it on the paper. All you got to do is fold the paper in a certain way. I tape it up and then I drill my little pilot holes, and then I come back with the 5/16. The pilot holes are drilled with the 1/8. Then I come back with the 5/16 inch drill bit and drill them through. That's the best gum of all time. Now this part, you don't want to guess or try to do any measurements. Just tape the piece up there and drill the holes. I mean, it's just much easier. It'll make a little bit of a rough edge once you go back and use the 5/16. And what I do is I drill about halfway from one side, and then I go back to the other and drill through. So you see, I've already drilled the top one, and I just drill it out for show. But I've already drilled on the other side. So I come back in and do that, and then it leaves a little bit of a rough edge, but this material that's on this door, you can just cut it off. And it gives you a nice little flat surface to mount the door handle to. And once you do a few of these, it's just like anything else. You start to come up with your own methods, your own way of doing it. Ways that are maybe faster for you. Your order of operations is a little different. All right, now you're looking at where I got to put the closing bracket. And you see all these holes, man. Those are the ghosts of storm doors past. They got stories to tell, man. They probably got all kind of stories. I don't know what they got to talk about, man. How many people done slammed them and broke them off the hinges? Maybe slammed into them. Or just maybe the hurricanes pull up. Maybe, the tornado came through and ripped them off. Man, if only it could talk. But the door closers are pretty easy. Some of them will come already like extended a little bit, and they got a little piece of plastic that extends them. But if they don't, you just want to take the door and take that closer and maybe pull it out about a 1/4 to a 1/2 of an inch. And then set the bracket. The closer has a little screw on the side of it that determines how fast or how slow it closes. These doors, I like them to close a little faster because the way the latch is. It's not like the other one. The other one clicks into place like a regular door. This one kind of like it has to get over the latch and it just kind of hooks in past it. But it's a beautiful thing. Look at that, man. Nice gap around. I got the little bottom piece on. Oh, finished. And looking good, man. Also, let me take you to the front one. Now this one's a little different. See, I like the slow close, but boom, locks right into place. Daryl, also known as the finisher. Stay safe, be blessed, and remember, if the trades don't work, nothing else does.